we are so thrilled to have you here today. Thank you so much. I have a little bit of a bio that I'm going to read, but I am just really, really excited about the wisdom and everything that you all are going to bring. So I'm thrilled to welcome two incredible guests to the podcast today, the 5-Star Podcast, Robin and Jimmy Burrow. And you probably know them as the parents of NFL quarterback Joe Burrow, but their impact goes far beyond the football field. Robin is an educator. She's now also with the Joe Burrow Foundation, but where she's dedicated her career to shaping young minds. Jimmy, a former football coach who spent decades mentoring athletes at every single level, college football to the pros. Together, they've instilled resilience, discipline, and leadership in their own family and countless others. And we are so excited to hear from both of you today. So welcome to the 5-Star Podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for the kind words.
Yes.
And you can tell Joe that you're not Joe Burrow's parents, that Joe, hey, you're Robin and Jimmy's child. Hey, remember that.
We've moved past that a long time ago. So I was Coach Burrow for many years, and now it's Joe Burrow's dad. So
all right.
Or now I'm becoming Robin Burrow's husband lately. So that's a good thing.
Love that.
I've been there. Trust me.
Yes.
Same thing. So we'll talk later.
Well, we had an awesome dinner last night, and I think
it was fun.
It was getting to know you too on a more personal level. And I'm already kind of aware through what you're doing through the foundation, and a proud board member of everything. And we're just trying to keep up with all of the things that you are passionate about and that you're doing. And so I definitely want to spend some time talking about the Joe Burrow Foundation and the reason why. I think that one of the biggest takeaways, there's going to be multiple, I think, and Caleb and I talked about that. And we're parents of, young kids and athletic kids, and you have so much wisdom in what it was like raising Joe Burrow. And so we kind of just want to kick it off. And I don't know if you want to start with what it was like coaching, what it was like being his mama, all things, parenting this amazing human being. The impact he's making here in Cincinnati, especially.
And all the kids.
Pretty awesome.
The other two kids, the older siblings that I didn't even know about really until last night.
Jamie and Dan.
Jamie and Dan and everybody together.
So I was a college football coach most of my coaching career, and didn't always get to go to all the games of the boys growing up, especially with Joe. Robin, I don't think she's ever missed a game in any sport other than COVID year, when they wouldn't let us in a couple of the stadiums. But I worked for a coach at Ohio University, Frank Solich, who just got inducted in the Hall of Fame. And he was good about understanding family and what that was all about and what we needed to do as parents. And so he let me pretty much during Joe's high school career go to every game on Friday night. So I would either drive to Akron after the game if we played away. If it was home, those were easy. But we were fortunate and blessed to be able to work really all of my career with head coaches that knew that family was important and that there should be a time that we get to go to the games and stuff.
And you never missed a game?
I never missed a game.
No, any sport.
Wow.
All the way third grade, second grade on.
Yeah, we're failing.
I'm failing.
I don't know about, definitely you're not failing. You have a wonderful family. I think that as a coach's wife, originally we were talking about being Joe Burrow's parents. He said now he's my husband. Well, I was Coach Burrow's wife forever from the time we got married.
Sure.
And so, he was busy. He was working late hours. He was gone traveling. And so it was very important to me to be there. Yeah. And part of that was probably worried about Joe getting hurt or something happening that I felt like he needed support with. But I have always felt like it was really important to just be there.
She even went to Little League football's practices.
I did. That might have been a little too
That was a little over the top.
I might have been a little over the top going to practice. But.
No, I go to a lot of practices. Like it depends on the practice and how serious it is. And usually the slightly more serious ones, I'll try to catch up just so I know what's going on before the game happens. Like, okay, if they played or didn't play, like, was that warranted? Like, okay, yeah, he shouldn't be playing or he shouldn't be starting or whatever that is. So that I think practice is okay as long as you're not neurotic or trying to get too involved. Just watching.
Some coaches would probably be at some levels intimidated, but
sure.
Once again, we were fortunate that Joe had great coaches at all levels and all sports, and
we were always supportive of those coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was a big part of it.
And growing up, they were usually friends of ours too. So
yeah, and there were a lot of parents that went to practices. In Athens, a lot of families live farther out of town, so it's not like they're going to drive 30 minutes into town for practice and then run home to throw in a load of laundry and then come back and get them. You know, that's just not feasible. So there were a lot of parents that hung around practice.
We gave it up though in
all part
high
of the
school.
community.
When he got to high school,
Actually, junior high, I didn't go to any practices in junior high.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That was right after school. I was working. So
well, that's the age too. He's probably like, all right, guys,
yes, that's enough.
Enough's enough. I want you to
right.
share the story about Joe on the sidelines. Wondering if he's going to be an athlete, if he's going to be competitive. He shows up to what Pee-wee, it wasn't Pee-wee football, was it baseball or
soccer?
Was soccer.
It was
actually.
soccer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we signed Joe up. It was when we had moved to Lincoln, Nebraska. We were living there. Jimmy was coaching at the University of Nebraska, and we signed Joe up for his first little soccer camp. And it was really his first experience with soccer. And, you know, I'm anticipating him getting in there and just going gangbusters and running up and down and running past people and scoring goals. And he literally...
Had he been running around the house like with balls and stuff
not
already?
with
Like
soccer, though.
Yeah.
But rambunctious with other sports or other things?
He had balls in his hands from first time he could ever hold anything.
She's ready to see the All-Star on the soccer field.
Yeah. And he stood there with his hands in his little orange shorts and just watched people for like 2 straight
Checking it
days. But after that...
How old was he again?
I think he was probably 4.
Okay.
4's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he soaked it all in to figure it out before he jumped in with both feet, I think.
Well, 4's tough. 4 is awesome. We have an 8-year-old. But even, he's going to be...
I hated 4.
But I love 4.
In sports. I'm sorry. I love 4 in life.
Yeah, you want him to get fired
Parenting,
up.
but not in sports.
I think that was the age Hannah fell asleep on the basketball court when we assigned her up. She took a nap.
Wondered if, because that was really the first time there was a chance to compete, because soccer is usually it, right? So we were just a little worried that maybe he's not going to get out there and be competitive.
Maybe.
But
I think all
that
parents
changed.
think about that. You know, I think obviously y'all are coaches in athletic and played and had older siblings that played, for those that know or don't know, and college level with the older siblings. And Brittany played a lot of sports, and I think it's pressure, you know, for people that played professional like myself, but you're always like, I think everybody still, whether you played or not, I'm pretty sure almost everybody is thinking, because I know my siblings, you know, with their kids, they're watching their kids play with the little balls and like watch them throw it. And like, I wonder, can they, you know, if they're completely uncoordinated, you're like, dang it. Like, they're always trying to see, is this one going to be an athlete or not? Or what are they going to do? Don't you think everybody kind of thinks like that? Or is it just me?
No,
I mean,
I think you want them to,
family
just
did,
because it's a fun thing to follow. But
Right.
I think Joe actually, some people might have thought he took it to the opposite end of the competitive spectrum. So he hates losing at anything. So it ended up being quite the opposite of what we feared that day on the soccer field.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite. Well, I always get on Caleb because I'm like, we got to get Asher. Like, it's 7 years old. He's like, I didn't start. When did you start playing football? When did you really like? I think parents are curious. Like, at what point do you really start getting them involved? Where, I mean, I think 4 is let him go out there and have fun. We had Asher, I think, at 3 playing T-ball, and he hit the ball. T-ball runs to first he tried
chase the ball and try to grab it himself.
ran to third and went the other way around, and we said, this is not the age for us to be sitting out here.
Well, you and the nanny signed him up, like, and I didn't even know. And I'm like, for what? For T-ball? Why? Like, I don't want to go to that. Like, I'm going to feel bad if I don't go, but I have zero desire, and I don't feel bad saying it, to go watch. He didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it.
Now he loves it. So.
I mean, he does, but I mean, there's so many directions we could go with this, and we want to hear what you all have to say, because we've talked about this a lot. We've talked about it all the time, which is why she invited you both on here, because when the sports world is so crazy. What age should they start sports? And then is there an age when you're kind of like, okay, they're not an athlete, just stop, and I know there's a lot of different ways you go with that, or there's something there, or should they just kind of, or would you make your kids play, to a certain age, where it's like, okay, just to make sure, because like for us, our kids hate piano, but like we're making them do it because as an adult, I wish I would have learned. That's a skill I would love to have today, and I almost wish my parents would have had a piano, made me do it, right? And I know sports is a little different, but something along those lines. Like, what do you think?
Well, I think from my perspective, always was expose your kids to as many different kinds of things as you can expose them to, and find out where their passion lies. Like what clicks for them. And certainly for Joe, it was definitely sports. And I think that we definitely influenced that probably along the way. But I think it's really important for them to go and watch all kinds of different activities, whether it be sports or whether it be orchestra or piano or, art. Expose them to lots of different things to figure out where their passions lie, and let them lead you, because if you force anything, it's going to fail most likely, or they're going to turn on you and they're going to hate you for it in the end. So I think it's really important to let kids find their own passion, but definitely expose them to as many things so they can find what they really love.
Yeah, no, that's good. I love that you're like, he thought he was going to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, forever, until
probably
middle of high school.
He played way more basketball games than any other sport growing up, and
People would love to see that.
Yeah.
Joe playing
He was
basketball.
so good.
there's highlights on the internet.
All right, we'll
yeah,
find them. We'll put them in here.
Yeah.
They, I know, initially it's all fun, and you want it to be fun. If it's not fun, even as they get older, then you don't want your son or daughter doing something just because you as a parent think it's cool. And if they aren't having fun, then they shouldn't do it. But at some point in time, if they are liking sports, you want them to try to get better and work hard at it, practice. And that's the one thing we were fortunate, is that Joe always loved going to practice in every sport. That was really what he lived for with his friends, is going to practice. So, we always encourage that. And then football's different because a lot of parents are nervous about the contact. And I think I'm usually asked a lot of questions about when should you allow your son to play football. Joe started in third grade. My two older boys didn't start until seventh or eighth grade, but that was because there was no tackle football. But Joe started tackle football in third grade, and I think if the coaches are good, they're teaching safety, and the league they're playing in is all about, again, having fun and protecting the kids from injury as much as they possibly can, then I think early is fine. But if it's not what a parent thinks, that's okay too, because there's a lot of kids that start football late. I asked Archie Manning once, and I think all of the Mannings didn't really start till maybe sixth grade or something like that.
6th or 7th, I think.
And he even told me that even then it was pretty low key. It just can't get to be so intense at that level. That winning and losing is winning and losing is everything. I mean, there's certain sports as you grow up, you're not supposed to keep score. Most kids know the score. And after the game, you said, well, you guys did well. Well, we lost 5-4. They didn't keep score. We kept up with it.
Yeah.
But as long as they're having fun and wanting to do it, then, as parents, you just encourage them, provide them the opportunity to maybe get better, whether it's camps or those type things. I know, Joe went to pretty much every game I ever coached, so he didn't have much choice, at least to watch football.
Yeah.
And but he loved it from the start, so that was fortunate.
I will say one thing with tackle football, we were very attentive to especially his helmet fit, to make sure that wasn't just some Joe Schmo off the street fitting the kids' helmets.
Right.
Right.
We were very careful about that from the very beginning. And we were lucky because Jimmy had access to Ohio University and the people there that knew what they were doing. So we could just double check. And honestly, I think every single time the person that fit it was fitted right. But you know,
we just were extra precautious.
It just helped ease our mind a little bit. And I think that it's okay. And for parents, you know, if you're worried about that, the things that you're worried about, you need to resolve them before you can move forward.
That's really,
I think
okay.
The coaches now are trained to do the helmets the right way and, you know, those type things. So I think that's all gotten better and better as far as the equipment. So
they've come a long way since we were young, right?
Yeah, I showed Joe a couple of my helmets before, and, and he looked at me like, "Yeah, that's why you're like that."
Right? Exactly. We'll introduce you to some holistic and integrated medicine guys.
Double face.
Go get some stem cells together.
I love so much though, even at practice, make practice fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the question I think I'm going to start. My takeaway already is I'm going to write some of this stuff down, but when I get in the car with Asher playing baseball, hey, did you have fun? Was that fun?
Yeah.
And sometimes, I shared this last night. We have 17 different extracurricular sports and activities that we're part of with the 4 kids collectively, which is a lot. And so, sometimes it goes from parenting to Uber driving, and we're just boom, 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 boom. But I think also driving to those games and driving to practice, that's also where all the bonding happens.
You have so much quality,
so much time.
So much quality communication time in those minutes between practices and before and after school. Use that car time for sure.
So middle school, high school, Joe comes out a basketball game or football. What are the questions you're asking? Or is it, hey, did you just have fun?
I think probably how did you think you did? I guess that's probably all my first question. But we did, hey, was it fun out there today? I think we always, a lot of times we ask that, and you could tell if they're having fun.
Yeah, I think you can tell.
Sometimes you don't say anything.
If things don't go well, we didn't ask. It was just a silent ride home.
Yeah, you kind of pick your spots to say, hey, why did you make that throw in that particular instance and stuff?
Does that? Just
I do still do that, even though he's in the NFL. But you just never wanted to be the helicopter parent where you're just zeroed in on, what he did wrong at regardless, youth sports, high school sports. You always want to dwell on the positive. And that was always as a coach, even when I was coaching other people, you just couldn't coach and teach negatively, or the kids nowadays will turn you off. And so you got to be positive and build on the good things they did, correct the bad things, but really pump them up. And I think we did that with Joe.
Yeah, we definitely tried to do that.
If he lost, he was not a good loser. Once in youth,
he still is not a good loser.
Youth baseball, he had a set of twins that were his best friends, and they were highly competitive. They ended up playing at Ohio University as tight ends, and so we had a baseball tournament. They lost the championship game. We're walking out, and the second place trophy, one of the twins, we saw him, and he dumped his trophy in the garbage can. Oh, wow. So, we take Joe home, and we're downstairs, and he's upstairs, and we say, well, at least Joe didn't throw that second place trophy in the garbage, and we go upstairs, and he had dismantled it. Oh. So we had to go, okay, now I'm not sure that you still got to be a good sport, and
still in pieces and parts on his bookshelf at home today.
I understand.
But they work at it. They want to win, but they have to understand that losing is going to happen, and it's a big part of sports and being in sports.
Absolutely.
So
one of the things that just really breaks my heart is I've heard so many stories like, man, sometimes kids quit at a young age and are like, man, he's really an athlete. Like, it's this artist, like, could have been like a champion diver or something. Like, I'm glad that they're an artist. Mm-hmm. So, but they missed out because their coach was such a, jerk or whatever, woman or man, whatever. But when that happens, you're basically like, erasing that opportunity for them to either maybe excel in a sport or just enjoy or meet friends or learn new things and disciplines. So, I mean, is that, I don't even know if that's a discussion point, but for me, it just breaks my heart. Is that something that y'all came across often? Do you think it's, did it happen a lot when your kids were young? Do you think it's a problem now that you still see?
Have you seen it?
I think it definitely is it is a problem.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard. We were a little bit cushioned from that because in Athens, it's small. So there weren't any travel teams other than the ones that we put together to go play baseball with Joe's little group of friends and their parents. So that was something that we organized, and a couple of the other parents were the coaches. So, but we definitely hear it like from Jimmy's oldest son. They live in Omaha, Nebraska, and it's hard for them to find the right fit, the right group of coaches, the right group of kids to get the dynamic that's positive and a learning environment. And so it's definitely hard, and you have to really work at it as a parent to find that happy medium and where you want to guide your child to go. And it is definitely a job.
Yeah,
it is.
And I mean, it's a bigger responsibility for a coach to coach fourth grade, 4-year-old,
God bless
eighth
them to
grade.
do it.
I mean, it's a hard job,
Yeah.
and you kind of monitor that. And I don't think we never went to the coach, but if things weren't happening great, then you just kind of say, hey, push through this. You're on the team now, and you got to do the best you can and work hard and respect the coach.
Right.
We didn't always agree with everything the coaches did. Just like, we heard the fans when they were college coach. They didn't always agree with our choices and calling defenses and offenses, but it's part of it. But once again, if they're positive, encouraging, focusing on the good things, but being a good teacher too, that's always a good thing to have as a coach at any age or any level. Is you got to be a good teacher and a counselor for that matter. You got to be able to counsel. I had players that required sometimes more counseling than they did coaching, but that's part of being a good coach, and that's at every level.
That's a leadership too. I think it's walking in an office.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one thing. I think all of that kind of evolves as the kids get older.
Right.
And I know that Jimmy and I said to Joe, we said it once, we said it 100 times, like, be a positive leader. Like, don't bring people down. You got to lift them up so that you can all come together. So being a positive leader, whether you're a part of the team or if you're a coach, is so important for people to really excel and become the best they can be.
Well, you can see that now with him, and even in press conferences, and the way that has, the man he is today. You all have been through a roller coaster, probably of emotions, just with him in general. Share a little bit about, now we're high school, we're headed into college. What's that like as parents? And obviously, ups and downs, highs and lows. What's that like?
Well, we live and die with Joe's performance, and now winning and losing is obviously the name of the game. But he lost the state championship game. He played awesome. I don't think we're not over that yet.
We still haven't rewatched that game, and it's been 10 years.
It's just part of
I understand
of being a parent, and then so we went to the low of the high of getting to a state championship, but then the low of losing, and then the Ohio State. That happened during the course of his career where we thought he was good enough, but he wasn't playing, and so you go, maybe for me, maybe I had the dad goggles on, is what I call it. So I was seeing Joe's performance through a lens that wasn't a coach's lens. So you go, they're the coaches, they're seeing him every day. So that was a struggle for Joe and us. And then the high of LSU and the national championship, was a decision that was hard on Joe, and we were involved in it. But bottom line, it was his choice. So that was an emotional roller coaster. And then the draft, we pretty much knew he was going to get picked by the Bengals. Some people said that wasn't a good thing. We were all for it from day one, as well as Joe. So that was a good thing. And then we lose a Super Bowl, so we go through another experience like that as parents. But we always, even though we feel bad, we kind of say, hey, imagine how Joe feels in all this, and
right.
We're secondary to how he's going to feel. And then he's had some injuries, but he's doing what he loves, and he's making a living at it. And we ride the wave of how he does and his team is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we still try to be the strong ones, and put on a positive and happy face no matter what. But the losses are become harder and harder as the stakes get higher and higher, for sure.
Right.
But and I think that we talked about this last night. A lot of people ask, well, gosh, you must be so much more nervous now with Joe out there playing for the Bengals than you were when he was little. And I mean, I really honestly feel like it's almost exactly the same.
You're always nervous when you.
That sounds right.
Every level.
Always.
I believe it.
I mean, for me, it's just, I always wanted him to do great. I wanted him to be happy. I wanted him to perform well. I wanted him to get better every day.
Yeah.
And I still want that. So that part hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to switch over to hater mode for a second. And because that's how my brain works sometimes. You guys, I'm like, because you said we got to focus on the positive earlier. So I'm like, you went to the state championship, your loss was like 56-52 or something like that. I saw online or something like that. It was close, right?
Yeah.
Wow, they can't
It was
even
close.
watch it back.
It was very
We got
close.
beat in the last 15 seconds.
Okay, so it hurts. I hear you. I relate, especially it's almost worse as a parent, I feel like, because I've played and I'm now watching my kids struggle through sports. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy for people who've never played sports. Do you think it's actually sometimes worse as a parent? I feel like it's almost worse.
I think it probably is. I mean, Joe went
because they'll get over
basically
it.
at that particular game. He was back with his friends. The next day, they went to one of the other games, and so they were able to kind of be with each other going through that. Whereas, Robin and I drive back to Athens.
We just wallowed in our sorrow for like 10 days.
Yeah, that's right.
Went outside and had a cigar and a glass of wine. That's probably what we would have done.
Should have done.
Yeah.
As a parent, you just want them to, and as they get older, you want them to win. I mean, that's
right.
That's just the way it is in sports. And but again, if they lose, then why did you lose? I mean, I played for Tom Osborne in Nebraska, and he, somebody might say, well, that team was unbelievable. They played better than you today, your team. And he always said, it wasn't. He would tell us that it's not what the other team does; it's what our team, my team, does. And that can be something as individual too. Is what can you do better? Maybe that other team did have a better football team or basketball team, but there's something in that game that you did that you can work at and get better. But,
that's true. And I'm joking obviously about being a troll, but the negative part of my mind was like, man, because it's just jealousy. It's just the fall of man. I mean, we're Christians. We always bring stuff back to the spiritual on the podcast. I'm like, God, I need some healing, some inner healing. I'm still not enough like Jesus. So, and I talk to people about this all the time because they're like, oh man, you played in the NFL, drafted and all the things and et cetera. And it's like, and they'll talk about, their time in high school football and something like, we went to state, got to win state. I'm like, dude, man, tell me about it. I want to hear that story. Like, we lost in like the second or third round. I never went to state. I didn't get to play in the game. So I don't feel too bad for Joe because I played at Arkansas. We played against LSU every year. We traded games about every other year. I think people can look it up online, but we had a good enough team probably to win national championship. I don't think we had good enough coordinators. No offense, none of our coaches are going to watch this, but LSU had they won, I think, in 2003. Is that right? Sound right? Maybe. But anyway, but they won a national championship. So your alma mater and Joe won a national championship. And so it's like, I understand it was probably really, really tough in those times. And that's the hard part, I think. And maybe this is a good question, maybe not, but it's a really weird dynamic, I really feel like, because I really mean that. And maybe it sounds crazy. Does it sound crazy to you all? Because I really think it's awesome when people have these, because high school is one of the most fun times of my life. Mm. And you can maybe speak to Joe
absolutely. Of
playing sports. I'm like, that's an amazing memory I will never let go. And it was way more fun than the NFL. Our college coach, Houston Nutt, always said, these are the greatest days of your life. Guys, you don't think this is true, but these will be the best days of your life. And so anyway, all I'm saying is to people well, you played in the NFL or you did this, you did that. And I'm like, man, the good times in high school, the memories from youth sports, like you said, the things where good coaches, good men and women were like good coaches to these kids and loved on them and they had fun. Those are great memories. I mean, don't you think sometimes people
is that way for Joe?
Don't weigh those out as high as they should, or does that make sense? What I'm asking?
Yeah, all of what Joe would still say are his very best friends are all of the guys that we started travel basketball, travel baseball when they were 9 years old. They still are his very best friends. And, when you have all those experiences together, including the state championship football game, there's no bond that's like that. You've gone through some very high highs and some very low lows, and you've gone through lots of teachers together, lots of experiences at school together, puberty together, girlfriends, boyfriends, like all of it. Yeah. It's a whole. It's amazing.
I didn't know that.
That's how Joe relaxes and winds down after a Sunday game earlier in the week. His group of high school friends they play video games.
Monday night video game.
That's going to speak to so many high school kids right now.
That's awesome.
If they're able to listen, it's kind of like be where your feet are.
Yeah.
Right. Be where you are in that moment and understanding. I didn't play at any level at all, and so I didn't.
High school.
My high school was different than yours. I was here or there kind of playing around with my friends and having fun. But I'm just saying to have that type of experience in the sports world, I think is really cool. And actually I was getting ready today and Tanisha, who does my hair, she said she's got 2 kids and she's like, I just think the question she had is as a parent, or do you ever at that age when they're middle school, high school, how do you prevent burnout? And is that a real thing? I think to your point too, if you've got some coaches that aren't great, you have some that are life changing. But how do you prevent burnout with kids?
For us, Joe played multiple sports, so he was always rotating through from one to the other. And I think I believe that helped him not burn out.
Oh, that's good.
100%, because he was always he knew that once he was getting to the end of baseball, it wasn't going to be more travel baseball or more batting practice in a cage inside or whatever. He was moving on to basketball or football or whatever it would be. It would have been football. So
that makes sense.
I mean, to me, that made a big difference. Yeah. And also rotating coaches through, you're looking forward to a new learning experience and
new season.
Yeah.
But we did eventually
That's good.
Eliminate travel basketball, I think maybe 9th grade, because as he was starting to grow, his knees were, tendonitis maybe or whatever. And so he knew he needed to, so we just cut out the travel basketball at some point.
Yep.
And, that's when that he's on the road to maybe something not good if there's something cropping up injury-wise.
Health-wise,
But they need a break, somehow. I mean, the single sport athletes, I think you can really get burned out because you're, like Robin said, you're not changing sports. You're just locked in
Right.
12 months out of the year in
Right.
basketball or nowadays football. They're playing year-round travel football all
crazy.
over
Really?
the
How?
place. Well,
Like 7-on-7, you mean?
Like,
Yeah.
well, 7-on-7 is one thing, but there's travel football teams now too.
And
Oh,
they
Lord.
play in the spring, like youth leagues and
I
stuff?
think they play year-round.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Travel basketball is nutty.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is just
It is
absolutely
intense.
But I hear baseball's worse. Travel
Baseball,
Honestly, volleyball for girls is crazy
heard about
travel.
that too.
Yeah.
I'm
as
so
well.
glad we're not in. That's one sport
And
we're not
hockey
into.
is
We're-
crazy travel.
Yeah.
Hockey.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And they usually can only get ice time like at 5 a.m. So that's brutal
Wow.
from what we hear. We didn't have to deal with hockey.
We didn't
so
have to
that
deal
was
with
good.
hockey or swimming. Swimming is supposed to be
I've
terrible
heard about that too. That's what we were
Yeah.
just going to
Yeah.
say. Like, are
think
there any
swimming is
kids
early.
sports
Bring to the
that
country
aren't
club
terrible?
swimming.
Yeah.
Is there a
Get a
sport that
high
is
noon or
not?
something while you watch it.
Is there a sport that is not super high maintenance? Did we list them all? I mean,
As I
Yeah.
feel like just it continues in every level. Like it's extra. Everything's
Yeah.
got to be extra. Everything is over the top, and every year, and then you're not keeping up, and kids, Hannah not playing AAU basketball, but wanting to focus on soccer, and it's a dance. But I think to your point, preserving the body, right, is
Yeah.
important and health overall. So speaking of injuries, I mean, as a parent, we've experienced it with Kaden.
Yeah.
With all of them
and
now.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad ankles. It's hard. You want your kid to be healthy.
Yeah.
How do
Well-
you parent during that time?
Joe had never missed a game, and to my knowledge, at any level. I guess maybe at baseball, he broke his.
He broke his arm when he was
once,
like in
but,
5th grade, but riding a bike.
junior high school, all of that, he'd never missed any game at any sport. And then the NFL it's different. I mean, people get hurt,
Right.
and
oh yeah.
He always bounces back and tries to come back better than he was. But as a parent, when he hurt his knee, that was one of the games we weren't there because of COVID. It was in Washington, so we drove back, and we were at the house when they brought him back. So at least we were there trying to help. We went with him to Los Angeles for the surgery.
Wow.
And so we were fortunate to be able to do that. But once again, your emotions are with the emotions of your son or daughter
Right.
when they're hurt. So
Right.
you're feeling for them. But
Yeah.
Joe has always been able to, fight back through it. And, he's won the comeback player of the year twice. And
Yeah.
he said, it's not something I want to win,
I remember him
but
saying
That was an amazing
if I'm hurt, you might as well
That was pretty
do
funny.
it,
You're gonna have
right?
to get hurt. You
His
might as well
speeches are pretty
come
good.
back.
Yeah, who's he get the wit from? Is it mom or dad?
He is witty.
Yeah, it seems like it.
He's funny.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I don't think anyone's asked us that before.
Grandma?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so there's some witty family members on both sides. I
Okay.
have a brother that probably would
Take credit.
be
He would claim it.
There you go.
character in
Uncle
that.
Johnny's got the wit.
Yeah.
Love
He-
it. I wanna
And
meet
he played
Uncle Johnny.
football. He played football at Ole Miss, so he was an athlete. But
We won't hold that against him.
yeah, and I went to Ole Miss one year. You probably don't even know
You
that.
did?
but
Oh,
I
okay.
did.
Keep it in the SEC. Let's go.
I did. I transferred. I was the first transfer in the family.
Okay.
Then Joe was the second.
Yeah,
he's the
there you
most.
go.
He's the most famous one.
All right.
Wow.
Well, I don't
Laid
even
the
want to get into the
groundwork.
transfer portal stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All of my mind
It's
keeps
nuts.
going back to like what were the hardest questions for us that I know we don't have a ton of time left. One thing I always thought I just learned recently, like as a former professional athlete, and you all can comment on this, and I don't know if this is a challenge for most people because I don't know, at least maybe if you played well in high school, like if you were a starter in high, there's a lot of those, like a lot of people who have their kids in sports, right? Did well in high school, or maybe like had someone in the family member that went to college, like just they know that they had some athletic genes. I think that's maybe half at least of the kids, probably more than half, right? Something like that.
I mean,
But if you know that your kids might be able to be decent, having played, it's hard. Since I made it to NFL, it's hard for me I know most people aren't like that, but it's hard for me to say, if we're going to do this, we're either going to do it just for fun or we're going to do it just to make it all the way. There's no in between in my brain because it's all or nothing. And that's
in your brain, really.
Well, yes, that's how.
We have a daughter, Gracie, who's like, I'm not playing competitively. I just want to have fun on the soccer team.
Yeah, so she's for fun. She's in the fun bucket, which is way better. I love that bucket so much more. That's my favorite bucket. But I don't want to be lazy either because my parents pushed me. And my parents were awesome, by the way. Mom and Dad were awesome, like you all. Great sports parents.
Didn't miss a game. Just like you all were at everything. My mom was a flight attendant, flew all over the country for free. God worked all that stuff out because didn't have a ton of money growing up. I mean, we never went without anything. But anyway, great parents, but they pushed me really hard. My dad was super competitive, and he would like just trounce me in video games, and like we'd race, and he'd beat me, and my mom would be like, "Mark, let him win," and he's just laughing at me. I'm lagging way behind, and he's like, "No, he can beat me when he's old enough." And I finally beat him in a race in like 7th grade or something like that, and I was like, "Oh yeah," but then he was a basketball player. So he would just stand back at, my age now, like 40s, and just rain threes on us and just never miss. I mean, he's a good like shooter like you all and Joe, apparently, which is hilarious because you don't have to be very athletic to stand back there and just he'd kill us. We got so mad. I'm like, why don't you try to drive on me, Dad? Right? But I don't know if Joe ever did that. But my question is, so what's your recommendation on, because I know we all know there's parents that get too crazy, parents that get too intense. They think their kid's going to be a professional player. Most of them are not. However, like do you have a set of principles in place, or what are some simple markers or some simple things you could share? Because y'all are experts, you're a coach, you had many, multiple kids, played lots of sports. Keep it real. What are some of the few things that you could share that would really help these parents? Because for me, it's like, I need help too. Because I'm like, this one's going, I'm going to push her all the way in soccer. This one's just rec. And then our last one, we don't know where he's going. And so I'm just trying to kind of sit back and like watch what happens. I don't know. I'm going to go foot's all the way down, or we just go play rec sports. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because usually for us, it's like rec sport means we're not trying. Club sports means you're going all the way. So how did y'all look at that, and how would you recommend people now?
Well, I think, you can have a son or daughter that's playing it for fun, but I think you can still teach them to want to get better at it. You would have more fun if you're improving to be competitive.
Right.
Winning, even if you're doing it for fun, is way more fun than losing. So do the best you can. Work hard at practice, and listen to your coaches and try to be the best that you can. That particular athlete may not want to go to the summer camps and all that, but they're still going to be practicing, trying to get better. And then if it's someone that you see has the talent and they want to continue, then provide them every opportunity that you have to have them get better and to see how far they can go. Camps, maybe 7-on-7 type deal, putting hoops up in your yard and throwing baseballs into the nets. I mean, there's just a whole lot of things a parent can do to help provide those opportunities for their son or daughter to just see how far they can go, and that's without really pushing them too. You don't want you don't want to try to make the one just wants to have fun to try to get to the point your other sibling wants to go farther, because it doesn't mix. That one's not going to want to go to the camps and not want to do 7-on-7, and may not even want to go do pickup games at the gym. But they can still have fun and try to do the best they can. So
I would say the only thing that I would also add to that is that sports provide such an amazing framework for so many different learning opportunities. And I think that, especially as a former educator, I think that having a child being a member of a team and having the team depend on them, whether it be as a part, the team depending on them for leadership or for consoling or bringing the water when they're supposed to have it, whatever that might be. There are so many different things that kids learn from sports in life that just like self-regulation and self-motivation, and whether they're playing it for fun or whether they're really super competitive and going to try to be an NBA player, an NFL player, or pro basketball player, whatever. I think that there's such a wide spectrum of things there that learning from every single day and trying to become a better person, whether that's spiritually or whether that is just emotionally taking care of your teammates. There's just so many ways that you can help.
Whether you're
That's
playing
so
for fun or
you're
playing for whatever, then and even when I was coaching, I always, if you can teach them to play hard, play fast, and play together, the ones having fun, they can do that.
Exactly.
Play as hard as you want.
Right.
You can play fast, play together,
Do your best.
and the ones that are trying to get to the next level, that's a simple strategy and something that they can all do.
Yeah.
Regardless of how good they are.
Within the team.
Within
What is
the
their
team.
role? What is their purpose?
Yep.
I love that. I mean,
That's really good.
I just, it reminds me of the verse, do your work for the Lord. It's whatever you do, right? Colossians, whatever you're going to do it the best that you can. And so if you're going to be on the fun team, you still need to be the best at what you can do and who you are. And I think about, luckily for Gracie, her little rec team won the championship. So we were happy. That was fun.
That worked
and
out.
we got hyped up. It did work out.
She had fun. And we actually trained her too.
Yeah,
and like he said, I was like, we did good. We did what they recommended. I was like, yes, check. we were winning on that one because we actually did have her do the skills training with the other ones at the same time because we're like, listen, you've never played this. Even if you're going to do it for fun, to your point, we're going to have you be decent at it. We don't want you to look stupid, feel stupid, because she never really played before.
Has a little competitiveness in her.
She's competitive.
She doesn't want her. It's still there.
Yeah, but provided, like you said, opportunities to get better and get good enough where she can compete on the team, move up. Like people don't like make fun of her. Oh, who's this girl on our team? Because a new player, she never played before. She just wanted to do it for fun. My only other question on that, and then we can move forward to foundation if we're running out of time. Mm-hmm. Where do you push the kids, right? Because our kids don't hate piano. So where do you draw the line on kids that are being lazy?
I make them.
Kids that just want to be kids and don't want to practice. They want to be better, but they don't want to go out there and shoot. And so my where we've kind of fallen back on, and let me know if this aligns with you or if you have something better. I'm open to it. Please tell me all the secrets. Which is like, okay, what do you want to do? Why do you want to play this sport? What's your goal? And what do you want to accomplish? If it's for fun, you know what I mean? Great. All bets are off. We can do what we want. But if you want to win more games, if you want to play a certain position, if you want to be the best at that position around your team, here's what it's going to require. And we'll write it out with them and say, with our oldest, Caden, it was several times over the last couple of years. It's here's the kind of amount of shots you're going to have to shoot to make it to a Division I school. This is just, there's certain numbers and statistics about that. Diet, exercise, skills training, weight training, et cetera. Here's the things you have to do to get to this. So for me, I'm like, even when they're young, you can say, what do you want to accomplish? What do you really want to do? I just really want to play baseball, but I want to win. Well, if you want to win, you're going to have to get better. So we're probably going to have to do these types of things. Are you willing to do this? And if they want to do this, at certain ages, they can understand that and can't. So that's all I've known to do with our kids.
Is this are we on the right track?
Is that on the right track? Is that really bad? Do you have other suggestions?
Just don't make it too complicated.
Okay.
I mean, too much pressure.
Trying to keep up with it.
All right. My parents pushed me really hard, harder than I'm going to push mine, in a bad way. But because it ended up positive for me in the end, that's why I ask questions am I not pushing them hard enough? Does that make sense? That's what I'm asking you all.
I mean, I don't think that we personally, I don't think pushed Joe into anything. We did provide him opportunities. I mean, I can remember him coming home from high school basketball practices and saying, I stunk today. I didn't hit but 3 3-pointers. And we would say, okay, well, do you want to go shoot?
Yeah.
And he would almost always say yes.
I think that it was fun for me to throw Joe batting practice, and he liked doing that. So that was an easy one. You want to get better at baseball? Let's go take batting practice at the cage. So that was fun.
Yeah.
I never really hit him infield ground balls too much. I mean, that wasn't part of our fun. So
That's good.
He could hit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
good.
he could
Heck yeah.
he could hit
That
way
makes it
better than he could
fun.
feel. But then also in basketball, I mean, that was one of my most fun things too. To let's go shoot baskets. Whether it was her elementary school, I had a key to the Ohio University Convocation Center, and
Not sure if we were supposed to have that here or not. It worked out okay.
but again,
Yeah,
it was a
Nice.
bonding thing with either us as parents. With Joe, she would rebound.
I rebounded. I shagged the
Shagged
baseballs.
Oh, that's
and
so
I
fun.
would throw. So those were fun things that allowed them to get better. We never went out there and said, "Hey, you got to run sprints today."
Yeah.
And
Or you have to make 40 free throws.
Yeah, I
before
mean,
we
it
go
was
home.
all-
like that's just not what
That's
we
not
did.
fun. That's good.
But I think
yeah.
So-
there's nothing wrong with how do you want to get better and having a goal and how are you going to improve this year compared to last year? Are you going to can we get better at A, B, and C? There's nothing wrong with that. There's you have to have plans for sure.
I think we did do one thing real quick.
What?
That's a big deal because I think and
One
you
thing,
can
right?
Yes, but it was a lot of it was your idea, I think, too.
Tell me more.
So when our oldest, and I want to hear their comments on this, when our oldest came to live here, we did the contract basically, like, what do you want to do? And so certain people have a school of thought, and let me know what school y'all are on, because certain people would say kids really have to be self-starters. They got to be ambitious. They're never going to make it, right, if they don't. And then you've got this prevalence of or overdiagnosis probably of ADD in young boys and men. Of course, I think a lot of them don't have it. A lot of them do. And I have a little tendency towards that, and my oldest son does too. And so like for him, it's hard to focus and get up and do the things and kind of remember without like having a plan. And so for me, it didn't seem like we were hamstringing him or making it too easy on him by saying, hey, what do you want to do? What are your goals? Write these goals out. And I said, I will be an extension of your own will. If your will is to make these things happen, if it's hard for you to wake yourself up, if you're writing on this contract that you want me to be an extension of your own desire and will, I don't care if you play or not. We can go save the world for Jesus. We can go work for, steakhouses, be a basketball coach, whatever you want to do. I don't care if you play basketball ever again, unless you want to play, then we want you to play, right? Yeah. So that's first and foremost. He said, I love basketball. I want to play. Great. So these are what you're going to have to do to get to this goal. Can you do all these on your own? I don't know. You haven't proven it. You can't. That's the answer is you can't. So if I'm an extension of your will, I can wake you up. Mom will wake you up. I'll go down there and turn on your lights and rip your covers off, like Jim Carrey and Bruce Almighty, and all those types of things. So some would say you're doing too much. They need to learn to do it on their own. For me, I disagree because he literally wasn't able to, whether it was ADD or whatever, or sleep apnea, different styles. He would not have been able to do that without, but I also would have never done it had he not said, I'm going to do this. And when we woke him up, he got out of bed and got dressed and went and shot at 5 a.m., 1,000 shots in the morning.
That's parenting.
That's what you know or knew that he needed. And that's, if you know that that's what his goal is and you need to help guide him through that, that's
you were
being
providing
a
him
parent.
the opportunity to get better. And
Well, that's great.
So that wasn't too much like help. Like
no, I mean, as long as you're not making him. I mean, you're not physically grabbing him and saying, dragging him out of bed. I know that.
He needs a little wake up call.
That's an exaggeration, but
Right.
hey, I'm here today. It's 5 o'clock. Let's go. And hopefully he's talked to you enough that he knows you're trying to help him.
He's appreciative.
Not
I do want to transition into something really, really important, which is the foundation.
Yes.
So the Joe Burrow Foundation.
Absolutely.
And I was thinking about this when we were kind of talking about injuries and you're talking about the roller coaster that Joe has been on, highs and lows, and now he's at the pinnacle, the peak of basically success. And mental health is so important to you all. And did you see there's so many kids struggling, and especially high school, especially social media. You want to talk about trolls, how do you parent? Do you see that with Joe? And was that the catalyst? Is that, why the Burrow Foundation is so passionate about mental health?
Well, really the mental health piece for the foundation came from my experience in education and the struggles that I was witnessing at school, and coming home and telling Joe and Jimmy about those certain circumstances for kids.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason we really focused it in for the foundation at that point. I do think, I mean, I think that we were lucky because Joe was just a little bit before all of the TikTok and Twitter. I mean, there was Facebook.
Yeah.
But that I learned kind of how to manage. I mean, I'm not real techie, but I did learn at least how to follow him and see what was going on. Right. But now with Snapchat and TikTok and
It's
all
terrible.
the crazy things that are going on. I mean, in my last couple years at school, I mean, it was amazing. Just the
the spiral down with the
spiral
kids
down
that were
with the kids. It was amazing, and we really have to help them. And we, as parents and as guardians for kids, we have to be able to help them manage this because it is ruining lives and it is taking lives.
Yeah.
We have to get a handle on it somehow. And I really welcome everyone everywhere to try to help just break the stigma, talk about it, be willing to talk to kids about it, and let everybody out there know that it's okay if you're struggling, and it's okay to need help, and it's okay to ask for help because it's not always right out in front of us. I mean, I know as a teacher, I could see when kids were getting physically bullied. I know if somebody's walking by and nudging them or pushing them on the ground, or they come in from recess with a big old bruise, you could see that. But you can't see social media bullying. You can't see it. And so it's really hidden and it's very hard to deal with.
Do you attribute a lot of it to TikTok and Snapchat and just from your perspective, seeing that in school?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
We've also found, and she was in a poverty area as a teacher and administrator, more as a principal, but because we were focused on providing finances, resource, support for food insecurity also. And what we found is food insecurity leads into mental health problems also. So it kind of works hand in hand.
Yeah.
But I will say in the last so many years, because of all the emphasis on mental health, I think over the years, I would just ask Joe after a game, how are you feeling physically? And then just in the last few years now, I just make it a point to say, during the course of a week, how are you mentally?
How are you really doing?
Yeah,
how are you feeling?
That's a tough question when somebody asks you.
Yeah.
How are you really doing?
Yeah.
It's right. But forever it was just, how do you, if you come out of a football game and you're physically okay, it's not a problem, but you can be physically okay and mentally not handling how you played very well, or even how your teammates played, or all those type things too that affect you as an athlete.
For him, we all know social media is crazy, right? Like there's so much out there, and Joe, he does a great job of just really staying off of it.
Does he? He shuts it down.
He doesn't.
He doesn't read all that.
He doesn't pay attention to it. I wouldn't say at all, but mostly he doesn't pay attention to it.
I tell him some of the things though.
Yeah,
just the important ones.
Jimmy is the one who finds all of the good advice out there on social media to share.
Yeah.
He's distilling down the best stuff.
Yeah, but it's a big challenge to, whether you're an athlete or not an athlete, to handle all the things going on today mentally, whether it's like you said, the social media or drugs, alcohol. She could tell you elementary kids, that had parents that were maybe smoking pot, and a pipe or something might be in their backpack.
Wow,
absolutely.
Which is crazy, but you have to be able to deal with that as a teacher, as a coach, as a parent, and it's nonstop.
It is nonstop.
So
kids are dealing with a lot, and they have a lot of baggage that they need all of us to help them carry, and sort through and help them to be able to be successful. So that's really what we're hoping to do with the foundation.
Y'all are doing so much. You are doing it with the foundation. You're doing, like I said, and we have our Jeff Ruby Foundation. So it's amazing when you think about, I was talking to Caleb about this. I feel like a lot of the vision is taking care of your communities. Like, I love how much you are so rooted in your communities that have impacted you. That's how we look at our restaurant communities, so trying, all boats rise with the tide, and trying to have those restaurants, whether it's Nashville, Lexington, Louisville, Columbus, and trying to make that impact. And that's really what makes the world go round, right?
Yeah.
If we're all doing our part in our communities, and you all have done such a the work that you're doing, I don't know. Amy Floyd doesn't sleep. You don't sleep.
Well,
and then
Amy Floyd is an angel from
She's
heaven.
our executive
She is
director.
amazing.
But
shout out to Amy. She
Shout
is
outs.
awesome.
But we're just as you we've been blessed with an opportunity to have a platform. Joe has provided us with that, and kind of all started. And I don't think any of us realize it. 31 seconds in the Heisman Trophy speech, he addressed food insecurity in Southeast Ohio, and then from then it just went crazy.
Sure did.
The amount of publicity that he got, and then we got. So when he wanted to start the foundation, the platform is there, and really everybody has a platform. Maybe it's not as big a one as Joe Burrow, but people have platforms. And once upon a time, Joe said everybody has the responsibility to do good. So that's kind of our motto, and we're all trying to do good.
That Heisman speech. So my dad, it moved him, and it moved everybody. We went back and watched it. I cried driving yesterday to dinner at the precinct with you all. We went back and I know, and that's where he said, I want whatever it is, we're going to have that steak burrow. And however many we sell annually, we got to keep track and make sure we're giving it back to the foundation. And,
Well, appreciate it.
I ate it last night, and it was really, that sauce is good.
Yes, it is.
That is
It's
Got to have the
exceptional.
LSU
Sauce is
Cajun
so good.
part of
But you guys just do an incredible job, and it's so inspiring. And I'm really just impressed with how quickly the foundation has taken off.
Well,
we have, Amy Floyd has been our fearless leader, and we definitely are very focused on trying to help those three specific areas: Southeast Ohio, Cincinnati, and Baton Rouge. But the amazing thing to me has been all of the wonderful people that we've met through our Do Good grants, honestly, and just finding out how many people are out there really working hard to help, sparking ideas for us to take things that are awesome that are happening in Baton Rouge and bring them to either Cincinnati or Southeast Ohio, and
Vice versa.
yeah, all of the vice versa among that.
Great.
and we have great board members. As
Thank you,
know,
Brittany.
is one of our great board
Grateful
members, and
to
we
be
have
on
a
there.
separate board in Baton Rouge and Ohio, and people are willing to help because people realize that food insecurity and mental health is something that everybody can really address and help solve the problems that creates those things.
Yeah.
So we're blessed to have people on our board again that are willing to fight the battle.
Yep.
Y'all said so many good things. We could start a whole new podcast now on that. I'm not going to go over all of them. I want to highlight a couple of them because they're so important.
Yeah.
Like one on, you said everybody can do something on food insecurity. And this is a big thing, at least it's supposed to be for the Christian community. We're all supposed to be in perfect unity and harmony together. Yeah, that's happening right now. It's not. We're not very good at that. We're working on it though, right? And so we're supposed to all work together. But if everybody did their part, just like with your neighbor, just your neighborhood, just, volunteering at your school, like you said, we're not all have a platform like Joe Burrow or Jeff Ruby. But if everybody just did something, and Jeff did a really good job about talking about that at the fundraisers that he's done in his lifetime. If everybody just did something, man, the world would change overnight.
Yeah.
Just do what you can do and don't feel bad and don't compare yourself to others. That's a great point. I heard y'all say the stigma about mental health has always been big for us. Brittany wrote a book about her life and kind of our story and our marriage and things like that. And And a lot of it is about just kind of like how bringing God into your life, into your business, into your marriage, into your parenting. That's a lot of what this 5-Star Life podcast is about. And maybe that's the last question you can ask about about a 5-star life for you all, for your son, for your other sons, your family, and your foundation. But I just want to say in front of you all, like her and I we've both been to the Meyer Clinic. It's all in the book. I've struggled with mental health things. I mean, people don't understand about veterans and combat sports and football and soccer. People just gotten wrecks. Anytime you've had a head injury, as I had crazy mood swings that were definitely got better with a lot of different kind of holistic integrative medicine and things to help heal the brain a little bit. But it was a challenge, and it wasn't just because of that, but that was part of it. And so for us, it was like, I went to, when I had a career-ending injury, I went to one of my pastors and was like, man, I need to go somewhere. You need to send me somewhere. I sent us to the Meyer Clinic in Dallas, Texas, and we've been sending people there ever since. It's an amazing place for mental health stuff. Yeah. So we're just on your wavelength. Like for anybody out there watching, I don't know about those two, but we both been, basically almost committed, and we love, I think it's crazy.
That's what I say.
A check up from the neck up.
That's good.
We've had so much counseling over the years, and it's like it's amazing. It's just like having a personal physical trainer. So we agree with you all. Like the stigma should not exist. Like if you need help mentally, great. Like you wouldn't not get a personal trainer for your body, get a trainer for your brain. Right. People have executive coaching, life coaching. I do a lot of that mentoring.
Well, that's through the website,
and all those things.
Being able to recognize. And so we're bringing Dr. Paul Meyer on, being able, like we've had an incredible opportunity. We know how blessed we are to be able to stop your life, shut your life down for 3 weeks. He was 6 weeks. He had a lot more problems than I did.
That's true.
But who's counting?
But who's counting? No, we're here, But not everybody has the ability to just go put their life on hold and to go get that help. And so through our site and through the 5-Star kind of brand that we're building, it's all the resources would be listed, whether it's books or here's where to go. Or, you know what, we're going to bring these experts here so you can listen and some of like what we've been through. I want to close on this. One question for you. One of my life verses, our life verses, is Romans 8:28. And so that says that God uses all things for good for those who are called according to the purpose, his purpose. And when there have been some of the hardest things in our lives that we're like, this is just really bad, there has been so much good that has come out of it. And if you had to say, what's your Romans 8:28 or what's Joe's Romans 8:28, where he thought, man, this is just right, this is bad, or I'm not playing and like when you're in the pit and you can see the other side, what are some of the most standout examples?
We have
good question.
The most perfect example that I can think of is Ohio State. And Joe wasn't playing, mentally. I'm sure he was struggling a little at that time to figure out, why he wasn't playing and what was his future. And then, he made the decision to leave, which was a monumental decision because of his friends.
I can't imagine.
Because he's 70 miles from us. And so
wasn't it a huge risk technically?
It was a risk.
Yeah.
They had 3 or 4 quarterbacks at LSU, but he wanted to win a national championship, and he thought that was the best place to do it. So in the dire circumstances of Ohio State, when you say, well, maybe it's not going to work out, and then it ended up being one of the greatest college football seasons a quarterback had ever played. So
there you go.
That's our when bad things can produce awesome things, and
but you have to keep your nose down. You got to keep working.
He never quit working at Ohio State, so
keep your eye.
He didn't let it
on your goal
affect his work ethic, and so when he went to LSU, that work ethic was just part of the process and allowed him to again compete and show what he could do. So,
do you think that's where the emotion from the Heisman speech was kind of like the culmination of those years in Ohio State, sitting on the bench, like knowing how good he is, knowing that there's so many people that either don't know or are doubting him, and finally kind of proving at least to the world, to the haters.
State coaches and
We're
players
sitting out there.
Yeah, so he's looking out there.
There were
and
two other Ohio
Nikki
State
Marotti, the
players
strength
sitting there.
coach, and Ryan Day, and then over here is Coach O and family, and so there was a lot of emotions going through, and he had a little index card with a few bullet points, but basically he just spoke from the heart. And I think a big reason, like you said, that what came to be the Heisman and the national championship was from a not great football experience.
That is a great Romans 8:28 story. Maybe the greatest I've ever heard. That was.
It is.
Well, I try to tell people with that an encouragement to people listening, and I know we got to be done, but it's like I don't think I would have been playing in the NFL had people not hated on me and doubted me and told me I couldn't do it, and it just burned me up, and I just wanted to prove all of them so wrong. And I think, and maybe that was true for Joe as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he would have been. Do you think he'd be as? He was always passionate. He was always committed. He was always a really hard worker, but did it turn him from like a 9 to a 10, or from like a 10 to a 1,020 or a 15?
Yeah.
What did you feel like that happened for him also?
I think things had always gone pretty smoothly for him, academically and athletically and socially, and then all of a sudden, that's all not what it used to be. And so, I think that that built up mental toughness, physical toughness, discipline, and I think he relied on us maybe more as family to help him through that than he ever needed to. But at least we were there for him, and it all worked out.
One other great byproduct, right, is that family bond that
Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
through
Well,
injuries. And
Stronger and stronger as you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
He may not be the player he is today had he not gone through so many hard things. And so people out there going through hard stuff, he might not have a strong relationship. He might not be the player he is. He might not have got drafted to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Maybe he did, but maybe not. So for everybody out there going through hard stuff, especially if you got awesome parents, take advantage of them. Right?
Never give up.
Yeah.
Never give up, right? Anything else y'all want to share?
If you don't have the strong support system readily at home, like find your people, whoever your person is, whether it's at school or at work or wherever your people are, go to them and talk to them. Make sure that you've got the support that you need to keep pushing on through the hard times.
Find somebody you can lean on.
Yeah.
Faith,
That's what we're
family, and friends.
We're thankful for
Right.
really good teachers and really good coaches
know.
like these two. Those are some
They're
of the
living
people
their
those kids can
5-star
go
life.
find.
And,
Joe wasn't a 5-star in football, though, so he was a 3. So
He was
there's
a
another.
5-star in my
Somehow
heart.
it worked
There's
out. That's
another
right.
rail, yeah.
It worked out. He got
He
the last
became a
laugh.
5-star.
That's right. He got the last laugh on all of them.
He did. He's living his 5-star life.
He
And
is now.
with great parents, how could he
Yes.
not? So
That's
thank
right.
you just for being friends and
Thank
for
you so much.
saying yes. And your time is incredibly valuable. We are very, very grateful.
Thanks
and
for
I
having
do
us.
believe this is going to bless a lot of people. So
Yes,
thank you
for
so
sure.
much.
Thanks for
Glad to
having
help.
us.
Glad to be a part of,
Thank
of
you.
your podcast.